What's up, bro?
What's going on, brother?
Myron McIntosh.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mac.
Yes,
Man,
sir.
glad to have you on. It's been a long time coming, bro.
Absolutely.
Been a long time coming. I remember talking to you about just doing. Well, we'll get into what you're trying to do later.
Yeah.
But just talking about getting your story out there and helping people, and it's been a journey to how we got here. Right. It's been a journey. How do we meet? Like, how do we meet each other? When did this happen, right? When did this first initial, what's the word I'm looking for? This first, our first interaction with each other. What was that?
That was, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was like 2012, around that time frame. I think when you PCS.
12 or 13.
Somewhere around there.
Yeah. Yep.
You PCS to Grand Forks, North Dakota. Of all places. And at that time, I was actually working back office. I was working in the phase 1 program. So that was our first interaction. You had came in and I was in processing. You guys was a few of y'all that came in around the same time. And that was really, that's how we started. That's how we met.
Yeah.
And then shortly after, I wanted to go K9.
Yeah.
And I ended up doing a lot of work with you, but with the kennels as a whole.
Right.
But that was really how that relationship started to grow. Yeah. Picking your brain, watching you work your dog, watching everybody in the kennels. You showing me different things with decoying. It was the first time I'd ever put a suit on and stuff like that.
Yep. I was still trying to figure out what the heck I was doing.
Man, brother. And then when I came back from K9 school, we worked a lot together too. That was actually the first time I'd ever did muzzle aggression. I think you had Lauren at the time.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah, you had Lauren at the time, and we was at the gym. And if you remember on the turf field, we was on the turf field. And
it's cold as heck.
Yep. And you was telling me about muzzle aggression because I thought I seen some stuff. I never even heard of muzzle aggression. Went to K9 school and learned all this stuff, but I didn't learn that, unfortunately. But came back working with you.
Yeah.
And then from there, I think we just continue to stay in touch, even throughout the years. Even once both of us left and went different places, we still kept talking. Whenever I had questions, you was always there. So, I'd reach out with K9 questions, life questions, whatever the case may be. And the relationship kind of just continued. And then my wife's family's from Guam, and then you being from Guam, so the connection was just always there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just always there. Coming over to get some good barbecue, and stuff like that. So
try barbecue in the cold in North Dakota, man.
That's different.
That wasn't fun, man. No, that it reminds me of before you got here to San Antonio, right? You had reached out. I was already here, and you're like, "Hey, bro, what's the likelihood of me getting orders down there or something along those lines?" And I said, "Man, just apply, bro. What's the worst they can say is no, right?"
Yeah.
And sure enough, man, you applied. You're like, "Hey, I'm coming down." I'm like, heck yeah, and I remember being up in the office, and it was Carmen. He was like, "Hey, these are people coming in," like, and I was looking at the list. I was like, "Oh, McIntosh, yeah. Hey, put him on your team. Like, put him on our team, like, on narcotics, right, and drugs."
Yeah.
And he was like, "All right, cool," and then from there, man, your time here just it was beautiful, man.
No, it was definitely a blessing. That whole process, like you said, starting even with the question, and me kind of being like, I don't know if I should press this button. I was deployed at the time.
Yeah.
And Mr. Fleeting, he was a trainer out there, and he kind of was saying the same thing, man. Let the Air Force tell you no.
Yeah.
Because I'd only been at Maxwell for a little over a year at the time, and I think at the time you need to be on station at your current base for 36 months. So I was like, it's no way, man.
Right.
But after you, Mr. Fleeting was kind of like, hey, man, what's the worst that could happen?
What's the worst? Yeah.
So I clicked the button, but I really didn't. Honest, if I'm being honest, I didn't do much else, and I thought it wasn't going to happen. After that deployment, I got back to Maxwell. That's where I was stationed at the time in Alabama. And I'm in processing to start R&R.
Yeah.
We're about to buy a house. This is how much I'm thinking it's not going to happen.
Yep.
You know what I mean? We about to buy a house, and my wife had did all the legwork. Man, I'm deployed. She's doing everything.
Yeah.
Viewing houses, working with a realtor. She's doing everything. And so I get back. And the day I'm about to start R&R is actually the same day that I got orders, but I didn't know nothing about the orders because the commander, they get them first. And my old flight chief was like, hey, hey, you about to buy a house? And I'm like, yes, sir. I'm excited.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, don't sign nothing. And I'm like, what you mean? He's like, I think you got orders. So I went this whole day trying to figure out if I had orders. Nothing. I don't got no email, nothing loaded on, on any of the Air Force records that I can see.
Right.
So I call him. I'm like, hey, man, it's the end of the day. I got to go sign for this house, close on this house in 2 hours.
2 hours?
Literally 2 hours. And he's like, hold on, give me 20 minutes. About 10 minutes later, he calls me. And he's like, go back to the kennels. You got orders. You're going to Lackland. And I'm like, okay. So I get a call 2 minutes after that from my kennel master. Hey, bro, you got orders to DTS, because that's what it was called at the time. And I'm like, all right. So I had to call the realtor, let her know we couldn't close on the house, and bro. I felt bad. I felt terrible, but it was something that I wanted. It was actually a move that my wife was really excited about too, going to San Antonio, kind of where we started. That was kind of like me and my wife were already together when I joined the military, but we weren't married.
Right.
I actually proposed at Lackland.
Oh yeah.
So to come back was kind of
graduation.
Yep.
Dang. Okay.
So it was kind of like a nostalgia thing to come back here. Yeah. You know what I mean? And then the rest was history. Like you said, I got here, checked in, sitting in guard mount. That day, our boss was out. Sergeant Landry was running guard mount, and he was like, asking who was new. I stood up. We did the whole sit down thing. Sit down. And then he was like, you know where you're going yet? And then I hear a voice from the back, which I found out to be Carmen. It was like, he's coming with us.
Yep.
And to your point, man, everything kind of took off from there. It was a blessing.
Yeah.
I got put on a great team, which I'm grateful for you for putting the word out, because you definitely didn't have to. And then from there, I just grew. I was on a good team. Learned a lot. I learned more from you. A lot of good people. Learned more from people like Carmen Nickelford. Pachesney. I learned from some great people, and I just took what I learned and grew. And then when they left, I had the opportunity to do it on my own. Continue to learn more from Landrow, and the rest was just kind of history from there. Got hired as an evaluator. Fast forward to getting out of the military, and was blessed and fortunate enough to replace the guy that hired me as an evaluator when he retired, and Mr. Clayton. So,
well, I mean, even going into that, right? Like, because I got out first, I separated first, right? And you were still in, and I remember being out, and then after a couple of years, I came back as a civilian, right, working at the breeding program, and then I remember you hit me up. Yeah. Well, at first I saw you were getting out. And I was like, what? You're getting out? Yeah. You're like, yeah, bro. Like, no, nothing against the military. Like, it's just my time. Yeah. It's just my time. I was like, I respect that. And then you hit me, and you hit me up and you're like, hey, bro, like, because I had just gotten hired on and you were going through that process, you know what I'm saying? And I think you were working at a bank at the time.
Yeah, I was working at Wells Fargo.
I remember you telling me you were stuck in this vault
bro.
for the whole shift. You're like, bro, I'm going crazy. Bro. Like, and it's like, and you just wanted to know like the hiring process, rightfully so, and you have a family to provide for, and but that process was just a weird process, I remember it was pretty stressful for you, and I was like, hey man, just be patient, bro. Trust in the Lord, man. Like, there's no reason why these people want to hire you by name, you know, and you have a skill set to offer. I was like, just be patient, man. Like, God got you. I know it feels crazy. You feel like you're in jail in this vault at this bank, but hey, it's gonna work itself out, and it did. It did, man. And you came on and you started training again. Yep, man. And then you got like the greatest opportunity, bro. Like you can't say like that's not God, like because in the federal system to move up. There's typically requirements and qualifications you have to meet. You definitely had the qualifications for this, I guess, in a sense, promotion, right? Yeah. But the time, and you're also going up against some people that had some qualifications. For sure. Experience over you, right? Like way more years ahead of you, right? And then also that, that wasn't, I guess, in your favor was the time. Right. Because you had just gotten hired on not too long ago. Yeah. Maybe under a year.
Yeah, it was right under it. Right under a year, I started at about a year, almost exactly a year after. Yeah. Is when I started in the new position. So. Man. Yeah.
And so, like speak about that process, because I remember we've had multiple conversations. Right. Obviously, we had multiple conversations that could be like 3 podcasts.
Yeah,
it's funny every time we talk like at work or whatever, and we get into a conversation, bro, we were there for like hour 30 minutes.
Every
like,
time.
bro, we gotta go.
Right.
Like,
people probably be wondering.
Yeah, speak to that though. Speak to that process, I guess, where you coming on, right, as a civilian now, and working at where we work at, and then just that process, man, of getting promoted so fast, right? And that's not usually heard of,
right?
Especially the competition that you had going up against. Just speak to that, man, of you're a man of God, you're a man of faith, what your faith has done and what God has revealed to you in that process.
Yeah, so like you said, it was a stressful process. It was stressful on me. But that was part of the reason why I reached out to you. Not only were you knowledgeable, I knew you would tell me things that I needed to hear, not just what I wanted to hear. And you would tell me things that I needed to hear, but I needed that. I needed that reassurance that it will be okay. You know what I mean? Like you said, being a man of faith, you got to trust it. Yeah. You got to trust that he's going to work, and he's going to work on your behalf. And even if it didn't work out, he was still working on my behalf. It worked out that it did work out in what I wanted. Yeah. But even if he didn't, I had to realize, like, whatever he does in this process is what he wanted, including the delay, right? So, like, to your point, I applied. I didn't apply. I was by name requested to come back as a trainer. Luckily, the guy at the time that was running the course, Mr. McKinney, he had known me, know my work ethic, knew what I was capable of, and he was willing to put his name on the line to by name request me. Yeah. Did that process. That process was messed up like 3 times. Like, literally like 3 times. I get it. They put in the by name request, but it was the first one they had done in a while. Yeah. So then they messed it up. So then they had to restart it. Well, then that one messed up. Then they put it back in, and I'm excited because I finally get a job offer. Right. So I open the job offer. Yep. It's not to the job I applied for. It's not to the job that I applied for. Yeah. So I come up to the union. I'm like, hey, am I supposed to accept this? Like, and they're like, no. Yeah. No, deny that. That is not the job that you applied for. I'm like, I didn't think so, but hey, maybe I just didn't know something. I'm new to it. Right. So then, fast forward, it works out. I get the correct job hire. I come back, and like you said, I'm back for about a year. About a year and training, back on a team. The place that we love, the grind, being out there with the dogs, being out there with the people. And it was cool for me because I got an opportunity to see the other side. As we were talking about earlier, I was with the narcotic side pretty much my whole time until I came as an evaluator. Right. So coming back, they put me right on an explosive team. Yeah. So that was, it was pretty cool. Like, detection's detection, but it was still pretty cool to learn somebody else's process, see how the guy that was running it at the time, learn from him, see how he was doing things, and just continue to grow and get a little bit better. So in that process, I learned a lot about myself because I had to learn how to be patient. I'm not a patient person. me. I'm not a patient person. And when I want something, I want it, right? But I had to learn a lot of prayer. Luckily, having people like you, some people in my family in my corner where I can just speak to them and kind of be like, I'm rushing this, but there's got to be a reason, and sitting back and looking at the reason, like all this was delayed for a reason. Yeah. I might not have seen it. Yeah. But it was delayed. It was perfect timing. In my mind, it was delayed, right? Delayed, yeah. But it was perfect timing. So then, I get the job, but I feel like I got it right at the right time because I get this opportunity not even a year later to apply for the evaluator position, which was, like you said, essentially a promotion. Yeah. But again, I'm at this crossroad. Do I have enough time? Should I apply? But this time I already got the knowledge that you guys had told me from then. Yeah. What's the worst that can happen? You apply and they say no. You're not eligible. All right, cool. So I applied, got a call. Hey, I want to interview you, but I find out the other people. So to the point that you were just saying, I find out the other people I'm going up against. I got no chance. And honestly, to be 100% honest with you, brother, I kind of felt that way. You know, if my wife was here, she would tell you I was kind of content with not getting it. I was going up against some heavy hitters who had, in some cases, honestly, probably forgot more than I ever learned in the K9 career field with some of these individuals, you know, and then everybody else, they were all older than me, all more years of experience. You know, the only thing that I had in my back pocket was I had recently done the job wearing the uniform.
Right.
So recency. Yeah. Recency was probably
exactly
the only thing that I had going in my favor in my mind.
Yeah.
But, you know, we get to the interview. I'm nervous. I pray right before I go in there. And it was weird. It was weird. It was just kind of like a comfort.
Come on.
You know what I mean? That like, it's okay.
Yeah. Like, God got me.
Yep. It's okay. Like, and I remember praying right outside the door because they had to sit right outside the door before they would tell us to come in. So I'm sitting outside the door in this seat. And I'm racking my brain because I'm like, what could they ask? Am I prepared? I don't know.
Yeah.
And I pray, and it was the most calming sense of spirit that I probably could have. I definitely needed. You know, but I probably never expected. I didn't know where it came from. I knew where it came from when I grasped, but it was like I almost got nervous again because I was like, am I too confident? Like, but it was that calming where it was just kind of like, you're fine. Yeah. You got it. I went in there. I did my best, I guess. You know, and I put my best foot forward. And, you know, by the grace of God, I got the call. Yeah. Actually, no, I didn't get the call. So let me not lie. The person that's my boss now told us, I'm not telling you guys who got it. You'll just either get an email or you won't. Yeah. You know? And I'm like, okay. Yeah. So I wait, and I'm waiting. And a lot of things happened in that process that let me know, like, this was for you. I did before I even got the call. Yeah. There was a lot of things that happened in that process. I had applied for a TSA job.
Yeah, I remember you did.
I had applied for a TSA job, and I am getting calls like, hey, we're probably going to select you. You know, we're able to select 3. You're number 3. Yeah. You know, we're going to probably select you, blah, blah, blah. Then some things happened where they kind of had to move off of it. Yeah. They ended up selecting 2 other people, which pushed me to number 4. Okay. Because one of the people that they were going to select, they weren't sure yet. Yeah. They ended up selecting both of them. Right. So they told me, they were honest with me. Hey, apply again because you're coming on the next one. Yeah. But it was so funny because fast forward, I get this job, the job that I'm in now, which was the job I really wanted, which was a blessing. That happened so that I could apply for this job. Because if I get that job, I'm in that job. Yeah. I probably don't even apply for this job because everybody knows TSA is a great opportunity. Yeah. And a great company to work for. You know, so I'm probably in that job. So the people that they hired, they hired them. And not even a week later, after they start, they quit. But it was just enough time to delay me. Yeah. To do this, to get where I was supposed to be. Like, so it was just so many things that kind of lined up that made me sit back and say, this was for me. This, I hear you, God. Yeah. You know, because while I'm getting frustrated with other little things, you're ordering my steps in ways that that's right. That I didn't even know, me being stubborn. Yeah. You know, I'm like frustrated. Why is this not happening? Why is this happening? Oh my gosh, I'm panicking. Yeah. But like I said, going into that interview, that spirit was to let me know, like, I did this for a reason. Yeah. And you're right where you're supposed to be, you know, and it worked out. Yeah. It worked out.
You know, that's something my wife and I say, man, having that, it's that even if faith, right? Like, okay, Lord, like, this is an opportunity, whatever it is, right? Right. It could be an opportunity, could be a situation you're going to, whatever. But that even if faith where it's like, you know, Lord, like, okay, like, I'm going to go in here. I might be you know, I might not have all the experience. Yeah. I might not, you know, have the longest resume out of all these people. But I know you got me. Right. You know, and even if this doesn't land, like, I still glorify you. Right. I'm still praise you regardless because, you know what's best for me. Right. You know, I even when I think I know what's best for me, you know what's best for me.
Yeah.
And so just having that faith, right, that even if, Lord, like, I'm gonna still praise you, right? I'm gonna still glorify you, regardless. And just how, like the Bible says, he works all things for the good for those that are called according to his purpose, right? For the ones that love him, right? I'm paraphrasing that. Don't you Bible people out there don't harp on me for that,
right?
But you get what I'm saying. But what that means, and how I see that sometimes is like, man, a lot of the times when we go through things and when we, when God has his hand over something, sometimes it doesn't look pretty.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't look like, I think people have this misconception of Christians, right? Or believers, right? Sure. Like, oh no, life is great. Like, oh, they're happy people and they're this. I'm like, bro, we go through this. We are just people.
Yep.
We are just people. We go through, if anything, man, sometimes it feels like we get it worse.
Right. Sometimes, yeah.
I feel like we get it worse. And so, it's like even the things that don't look favorable from our perspective,
right,
are actually favorable for us from God's perspective.
Right.
From how he sees us. Mm-hmm. We might be going through a storm. We might go through death. We might go through things, but it's like, we don't know what he's working on in the back end.
Facts.
Because fast forward, you're going to look back, you'll be like, man, Lord, like, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I appreciate you putting me in that bank vault.
Yeah.
For X amount of months.
Yep.
And allowing me to learn patience, and in all this process, right? Because it as you're talking, it cracks me up, right? Because as dog trainers, right, we teach a dog a task, we teach obedience, we teach all these things. And what do we tell as like a lead trainer to someone coming up? Be patient. Be patient with the process. Trust the process.
Right. Yep.
It's gonna happen. Just continue to do the work. Continue to apply the method. It will work itself out. Be patient.
Yep.
But dang, when it comes to us and and the things we want to do,
I want it now.
I want it now.
I want it now.
I want it now, right? So it cracks me up, right? Because I'm one of those, bro.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm one of those where I'm just like, man, how can I teach people like just be patient? And then like, and the things that I, whatever, whether it's God calling me to do something or I want something to happen, I'm like, I just want it now.
I want it.
I want it now. So it's just funny.
It is.
It's just funny how that works.
Because in my mind, I'm telling you, when I applied for TSA, in my mind, I'm like, this is opportunity. Mm-hmm. This it, right? Like, no secret, they make more money. They make good money.
Yeah.
Good. They got some great trainers over there. Mm-hmm. And they do a lot of traveling, a lot of getting to see the world and and things like that. So I'm like, yeah, this is it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I got it. So when it didn't happen, I'm like, I was kind of like, dang, man, okay, well, what's next? Mm-hmm. So then you fast forward like into getting the job that I have now, which was honestly, ultimately was my dream job, especially because I had so much respect for the guy that I replaced, Mr. Clayton. Like I had so much respect for him, you know what I mean? That I'm like, it would be an honor to replace him. However, hey, TSA making good money. You know what I mean? Like good money. I'm support my family, go on some trips, and stuff like that. Then you fast forward and I get this job. And when I sat back and I looked at it, I said, I think I'm way happier here than I probably would have been. Maybe I'm speculating. Maybe that's what I want, right? Maybe that's in my mind. Maybe that's what I want to believe. I'm not 100% sure, but that's just kind of how I feel. It was way more. It was more to it than just the money.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And so with getting this opportunity, and getting the evaluation job for me, the whole process taught me a lot. Like you said, start to finish, patience. Yeah. Patience. Yeah, I'm still learning it. I'm still learning it. But patience, but actually really, truly exercising my faith.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Because but also doing things in between. I was proactive. I was trying to learn more. I was trying to gain more. I was doing other things. I'm still trying to work on stuff at the house with the family and stuff like that. I'm making the right calls, talking to the right people. I'm doing all these things because for the longest time, I had this misconception, I think, that faith was enough. forgetting, you know, like they say, faith without works is dead.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
One of my biggest things was growing up. I was a lazy guy. I was a lazy kid. I'm gonna say a lazy kid, but I was lazy. Like, and if I could find the easy way, I was gonna find the easy way. If I could get a quick way, I was gonna get a quick way. But like throughout that whole process, that's what just kept being repeated to me.
Yeah.
And I was working on so many other things at the time as well, just working in myself. But that's what kept being repeated. Like, faith without works is dead.
Yeah.
You believe, but you're not doing nothing.
Absolutely.
You're not doing nothing to even help yourself.
Exactly.
You believe, you want this question answered, but you're afraid to pick up the phone and ask.
Exactly,
You're not going to do stuff. And there was just so much that I learned throughout that process about myself, that in my walk, in my journey, that I was just like, sounds crazy, right? Because I was 33, 34 years old at the time. And I'm like, time to grow up.
Yeah.
Like, really grow up.
Absolutely.
You know, and so the whole thing was definitely a blessing. I'm truly blessed where I'm sitting right now.
Yeah.
And then I really can't complain. It came full circle, but I definitely wouldn't have, if you'd have asked me to write it, where you going to be at a year from now, I wouldn't have wrote this.
I don't know.
I don't know. I wouldn't have wrote this, you know.
I can't tell you, man. No, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So you mentioned growing up, right? You're a lazy kid. But you know, who is Myron McIntosh? Like, where you from? I know you're from Maryland.
Yeah, Baltimore, right? Maryland. So my leg.
yeah, exactly, right? Oh, you can't see his Baltimore Ravens
my
plaque or sign up there. Yep. But so yeah, Myron McIntosh, Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, Maryland.
Who's Myron?
So, like you said, born Baltimore, Maryland. Moved right outside of Baltimore, Maryland as I grew up a little bit. My mother got sick at a really young age. I was living with my mom. I never lived with my dad. He was around, but never lived with him. Moved right outside of Baltimore with my oldest sister. She ended up becoming my legal guardian because my mother was sick. And that's my foundation, right? Like, that's everything for me. So anyway, I moved out of Baltimore, moved in with her, and move in with her husband. At the time, I'm pretty much, I consider myself like their OG. They got a bunch of kids, but I'm like the first. You know what I mean? I'm the first.
I taught them how to be parents.
Right. You know what I mean? They they learned everything from me. No, not at all. Not at all. But no, very, very much where I got my foundation of faith. And I say religion, but I say it loosely, you know, because I wouldn't say that my family are religious people, right? They have a very strong belief system. And you know, my family actually owns their own church, and they are very spiritual people, definitely believers. But you know, it's more than just being religious to them. It's their lifestyle. That's who they are. They're not. You know, when I look at religious people, they're just practicing religiously, right? We could do anything religiously, right? You know, for them though, it's the lifestyle, and that's my foundation. Yeah. And I learned so much from them. Knucklehead. I was a knucklehead. I would say I caused a lot of ruckus growing up. I caused a lot of ruckus growing up, man. Just in some ways thinking I needed to be a product of the environment. Thinking I needed to be something that I wasn't. But in some ways, I think it was just being a kid too, right? Like it was just, you know, being a kid in that area, in that environment. Right. Made a lot of mistakes, but, you know, they was always there. They always had my back. You know, my family is very much, when I speak about my sister and her husband, two of the most caring people I've ever met in this world. You know, they took me in, didn't have to, right? Like, a lot of people might look back and say, well, that was her little brother. She should have done that. But we know that didn't have to go that way, right? Took me in, especially newlyweds. When they took me in, they were pretty much newlyweds, you know? So this is super early in their marriage. You know, her husband could have been uncomfortable with it. You know, she could have been uncomfortable with it. And then, you know, then I'm in the system. You know, because my mom had some things going on health-wise that was out of her control, right? There was nothing she could do. I mean, like I said, my dad was just kind of there, you know. Good dude. Good man. Not a good father. Good man, though. You know what I mean? But, you know, that really didn't matter because God it's funny. We joke about it all the time because my sister is 21 years older than me.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, 21 years older than me. She could be your mom. Yeah, exactly. So it was funny because she used to tell my mother all the time when my mom first told her she was pregnant with me, like, she was upset. Like, everybody's going to think he's mine. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, well, you know, God got a funny way of kind of setting things up. You know what I mean? Because I ended up being hers.
Yeah.
You know, I ended up being hers. It was something that she was probably frustrated about at 21 years old, about to graduate college, and new little brother coming into the world. You know, but it ended up being God writing the story the way it was supposed to be. This is happening because you are going to be his mom. Yeah. You don't know it yet.
Yeah.
But you are going to be his mom. You know, so I look at all those things, man. I think my life is super unique in that way. But, you know, just growing up in that household, we had a big household, big family. My sister, you know, had a lot of foster children, adopted quite a few people, and it's not something.
Oh wow, foster children.
Yes,
man, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. That takes a special heart, bro.
Oh, and
for someone to bring in foster children,
and still doing it.
Blessing.
Just got another one not that long ago.
Wow, that's amazing.
And you know, those individuals that if you talk to me, you'll never know. Mm-hmm. You know, I have no problem saying it here because I think it's unique. Yeah. And it's something that I want the world to know, people to know about my sister and her husband, because like you just said, it just shows to the character, the testament of who they are as people, and the examples that I had. Yeah. So, but when I talk about, that's my family. Yeah. You know, those are my brothers and sisters. Which technically they're my nieces and nephews because my sister adopted them, but those are my brothers and sisters. Most of them are older than me. Yeah. But those are my brothers and sisters, and the way I look at it is, it don't matter, adopted, not blood, whatever. But you know, they've held me down way more than, you know, some people who may have had the same blood in my family. And that's not to say that my family didn't hold me down or didn't have my back, like people that have, you know, same blood running through us. We just weren't close like that, you know. But those are the people I was close to. Yeah, those are the people I was close to. That's the people I was raised with. And you know, to this day, I call them and when I talk to them, you know, it's not as often as it should be for sure. But you know, we pick up where we left off, and you would never know. Yeah, you would never know that we weren't related unless we told you. Yeah, you know, because that's just how we act. But that's how we were raised. Yeah, you know. But you know, like I said, I was a knucklehead, and I caused a lot of issues, man. I just made a lot of mistakes. You know. Some of which I'm like, I don't even know why I did that. Yeah, I mean, like I don't know what I was thinking, you know, but I definitely I look back at it now, and I'm grateful for it in a lot of ways. I actually just had a conversation with my older brother not that long ago about that, because I, you know, was just kind of explaining to him my growth, you know, and just coming to the realization of some things, and joining the military and kind of being separated, you know, and not as close to them as I was raised, you know. For a while, man, I was kind of happy with it. Not nothing to do with my family, nothing to do with like not wanting to be around them or anything like that. But like, I wasn't a good person growing up. Yeah. So for me, I look at my sister and I look at her husband, and I felt like I was kind of like a blemish on their record. Yeah, you know, these are two amazing people who raised a bunch of other amazing people. And then I was growing up, messing up, causing issues, not seeing things through, you know, leaving college, dropping out of college, joining the military, which turned out to be a great thing. But at the time was, you know, a little rough. Yeah. You know, it was a rough transition. It was a rough jump. Yeah. You know, but I think that was one of the first decisions I had made in my life where I felt like God was really telling me, this is for you. This is what you're supposed to do, regardless of what it might look like or what it might feel like. You know, but that's how I got there. But, you know, for me, I had to grow up. Yeah. And I joined the military almost as a way to do that. Something to force me to do that. Yeah, you know, you need to be better. Get you out, you know, out of that environment. Not out, but like to kind of put you on your own. Yeah, put me on my own, where it was sink or swim.
That's
you
true.
know,
Yeah.
sink or swim. Not only just sink or swim though, you need some discipline, and this is going to be something that's going to make you do it.
Yeah.
But there was a level of stubbornness in it too that was everybody thinks you're going to fail at this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this is your opportunity to prove them wrong.
I remember when we had a conversation, a couple months ago, and we kind of talked about the testament of your, to your sister's character, right?
Yes.
Just bringing in her younger brother, your mom couldn't care for you at that time, right? And you mentioned, your dad's a great man, great dad, probably not,
not so much,
not so much, which means, your brother-in-law had to step in, right? And fill some big shoes, like you said, they're newly married.
Yeah.
Newly married. He's never been a father, probably.
Right. Nope.
Don't know what his background is, but, bringing in, because you were what? How old were you at the time?
So when I started kind of going back and forth with them, I was about 2.
Wow.
I officially became like really staying there with them around 4 or 5 years old.
4 or 5? Okay, so about 4 or 5 years old. I remember when we were talking a couple months ago, you said, man, if I could even be half the man that guy is.
Yeah.
You said that, right? So speak to his character, man, and the man that he is, and how maybe just now you're seeing, why maybe he pointed you in certain directions, or why he did certain things, or why he didn't allow you to do certain things.
Yeah.
Speak to that because that says volumes, right? I think sometimes as parents, we tell our kids things and we feel like it's just going in one ear and out the other. Right. And I'm sure that's how he felt with you at times, a lot of times, maybe, and so, speak to his character, man. And how special that is of a man to bring in someone that's not even his own. Right. And to raise a young man like yourself, and how his efforts and his willingness have played out to how your life is today and the man you are today.
For sure. Yeah. So my sister's husband, and I'm going to say his name, Winston Stevens. I'm telling you, if I had to pick something, if I had to create this Mount Rushmore of life, I would put him and my sister up there for sure. But I could even just put him up there, right? Like, because that's not taking nothing away from my sister and the decision that she made 30-something years ago, to even have the conversation with her husband and say, this is what I want to do. And, and however that happened, I don't even know how it fully happened. I don't know if it was a conversation with my mother. I don't even know. I just know it happened.
Yeah.
But that, like you just said, I tell people all the time, if I could be half the man that he is, that he still is, nobody got a chance against me. And I know it could come off as like a cocky thing, but like, that's just how I feel about him. I'm not saying I'm half the man that he is yet. I'm still growing and I'm still learning. But if I could be half the man that he is, there's nothing I can't accomplish. That was a man that said, I'm sure if you ask him, he's going to say no. But to me, the perfect example. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
There's obviously, right, where none of us are perfect.
Right.
And obviously, in many ways, we're striving to be as close to that as we possibly can. I can't find the flaw.
Yeah. Yeah.
In my mind, he is the perfect person to be, to raise anybody.
Yeah.
Because, and it's proven. Because like you said, I'm not his. Like I said, they have foster children that they have adopted.
Yeah.
So you're talking people from all different types of walks of life, different genetic backgrounds, biologically dealing with different things.
Oh yeah, that's a lot of trauma people bring
right?
in.
And then we all are under this same roof, and we all turned out really good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really good. And to the point, like I said, growing up, I made a lot of mistakes. I remember me and my brother, we had these friends we used to hang out with, and I'll never forget. And I don't know why it's so vivid, but it is. It's so vivid. But I'll never forget. We went to go knock on one of our friends' door, and they were a very spiritual family as well.
Yeah.
But you got me, making mistakes. And then you got my siblings who are foster kids, newly adopted. So if anybody knows that, naturally it's kind of like, where they come from. It's a bad outlook on them. But we all made our mistakes growing up. You know what I mean? We went and knocked on their door. And I remember one of the sons came to the door and met us and said, hey, my parents don't want us playing with y'all no more. We're not allowed to hang with y'all no more. They said y'all are bad examples, for us in our lives.
Okay.
That was the last time we'd ever kicked it with them.
Wow.
Really. Or that time before that, because we didn't get to hang out with them. We never played with them, never hung out with them again. Shortly after, we ended up moving anyway.
Wow.
But you fast forward to now, and I'm in no way, shape, or form knocking their family or anything, but, I've had some conversations with some of them later in life.
Okay.
And me and my siblings are all doing much better.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to say that they are in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's not, I would never wish that on nobody, and that's not to knock them. But it just goes to show, to your point of Winston and my sister Tawanda, the character that they brought and they put into our lives. Like you said, they felt like a lot of that was in one ear and out of the other. But they raised us in a way that regardless, we'll find our way back, right? And we did. And we did. They set great examples for us along the way. My sister's husband, I mean, I don't even know how to really describe it, because everything about this dude I try to do now.
Okay.
Everything about this dude. And again, I'm not trying to take anything away from my sister, because I try to live up to a lot of her standards in a lot of ways, because that's the smartest person I know.
I remember you said she's very...
that is the smartest person. Yeah, the smartest person I know.
Very successful.
And honestly, if it wasn't for our mother, which, I can talk about that a little later. If it wasn't for our mother, I'd probably say she was the strongest person I know too. But our mother, I think she would agree too. Our mother was a different breed.
A different breed.
It's a different breed. But they raised us, in the most perfect of imperfect ways that you could possibly raise a household like that. But that example, I like I said, I talk to my brother pretty regularly. I probably talk to him more regularly than the rest of my siblings. And me and him talk a lot. And I think as men, as only two men, we look at him and it's like, I just gotta be some of that. And I'll be an amazing father.
Yeah.
I'll be an amazing husband. I'll be amazing at my job, because that was bar none the hardest work I have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
There's nobody.
He put y'all to work.
Nobody.
Oh, he was the hard worker.
But he put us to work too.
Yeah, he put you to work.
He put us to work too, which is where a lot of my laziness probably showed.
You learned it, yeah.
But I don't know if there's anybody I can even think of that worked harder than him. I mean, this is a guy, because there was there was quite a few of us, this is a guy that would wake up at 3:30 in the morning, go work his day job, get off at 3:15 in the afternoon, come home, sleep till 5, get up, work an overnight job, come home at 2 o'clock in the morning, take an hour and a half nap, get up and do it all over again. And that was Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
That was Monday through Friday.
You can't find that nowadays, bro.
No. That was Monday through Friday. And that's why I'm like, I'm still not there.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still not there.
Yeah.
But that's the example that I saw.
Yeah.
So now at 35 years old, and when I'm working and I'm grinding, and I have friends like, bro, how you just go all the time? I'm like, y'all have no idea. Because I'm just now figuring it out. I'm just now figuring out what he was showing.
Right.
Because like, to your point, like some of the things, I'll be honest, I don't know if there was a lot that went in the ear out the other with him, but not because I wasn't listening. He just didn't have to say much.
He showed it.
He just showed us.
Yeah. Amen.
He just showed us. He was not I'm going to lecture you.
Yeah.
If he was upset with us, he'll let us know.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But he wasn't the type of guy that's like, let's just sit down and have this talk. And I'm not the perfect person of lead by example.
Yeah, absolutely.
He just did.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He just did it. And if he needed our help with something, he would tell us, hey, you're going to help me in the yard today. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. We're going to do this. Hey, your sister, she got along work, because even though they were raising me, she's, he still referred to her as my sister, because that's where she is. Right. Hey, she's got a long day at work. We got to make sure this is done by the time she get home. All those things laid the foundation for who I am now and who I am today, because that's what I try to emulate as a husband.
As a husband, yeah.
Because I think for me, it's the greatest thing ever, because when people joke about me and my wife all the time, because I do most of the cooking, and stuff like that. And they're like, man, you cook? Like your wife don't cook? Like, that's not, she can't, I do it.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. But it broke the mold for me.
Yeah.
It broke the mold for me, because I watched somebody like him, the way he handled my sister, the way he handled us, the way he carried himself.
Yeah.
It broke the mold for me as saying, when I get married, whenever that day comes, obviously it came, but whenever that day comes, I don't have to live in a way that is typical of what society says it has to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
That dude did so much. You know what I mean? That dude did so much. And so when I do stuff now, when people ask me, like, you don't want to come home to a cooked meal, because I get those questions. Like, you don't want to come home to a cooked meal for your wife? Nah, I'm good right where we're at. You know what I mean? Like, this is perfect for us. But I had the example to know, hey, this can be done, and you can still be the head of your household. Yeah. You know what I mean? You can still be the man of your house. Yeah. You know what I mean? And my sister, fortunately enough, she showed us also that it can still be respected as such. You know what I mean? My sister, like I said, is smart. Yeah. And she is a strong-willed person. And I get a lot of almost all of it from her. I get a lot of that from her. You know what I mean? But within all of that, she still showed us how to respect her husband.
Yeah, amen. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, so I was blessed enough to have them in my life, because, I've been married for 14 years, 2 weeks ago. About 2 weeks ago.
Congrats.
Appreciate it. It's 14 years. Everything was stacked against us. We were young, in the military, displaced, deployments, a lot of death in the family, a lot of turmoil, a lot of emotional things. Everything was stacked against us, and by no means were we perfect. And we made a lot of mistakes, but I really truly believe that we are still here and we're still kicking, in part because of my foundation. Obviously, my wife has to do her job, and and things of that nature too. But in part, that's what I saw. Yeah, that's the example I saw. They're still married. I think they are
30 plus years. Yeah,
30
something.
33, I think. Wow. I think 33 years they've been married. You know, but those people, everything, to loop it back together, everything that they, starting with him, continuing on through my sister, everything that they laid, that foundation that they laid for us, is the reason that I think we all turned out to be who we are. Because I can honestly say that all my siblings were doing pretty well in life.
That's awesome.
We went from being the kids that you're not allowed to hang with, kind of ostracized. Nobody wants to deal with y'all. Yeah. This pieced together family, to being all of us doing very well in life. And I prove it even more. And to me, it's proven even more because, to the point, we were all brought from a different environment. Yeah. All brought from a different environment, all raised in a different outlook. Different things played a factor in our life. So you can't say, oh, y'all all were just going to be that because of genetics. Yeah. No. You can't say that. None of that. You can't say none of that. Yeah. Because we were all different, but we all turned out pretty successful. And I think we're still growing because of those two people. Amen. Because of those two people, it just goes to show that, like, it just goes to speak to them even more, which is again, for a while I was so content with being away because I'm like, those are great people. They don't deserve my shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
They don't deserve some of the dumb stuff that I did.
Yeah.
The only blessing in it was a lot of those mistakes, a lot of those dumb things I did was before I was 18.
Mm-hmm.
So like I can look back and say I was just a kid, right? But it doesn't matter. With some stuff I knew better.
Yeah.
So when I grew now, I just said I just gotta be better.
Yeah.
I just gotta be better. So now I've matured enough, I think, and I've prayed enough about it to say I gotta get closer to them again because I think I'm doing okay.
Yeah.
I think I turned out okay.
Yeah, man. Just hearing all of that, man, and in our prior conversations, it's just, when I think of your sister and her husband, man, that's truly exhibiting the love of Christ.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like to love people that are not yours by blood.
Yeah.
I mean, you were her brother, right?
Yeah.
But she didn't birth you.
Right.
To love these kids from the foster system, to bring them in with all the traumas that comes with.
Right.
These kids are in that system for a reason.
Right.
And a lot of the times it's man, some of those stories are terrible.
Right.
I'm sure you can attest to some of the stories, with these kids that you've, your brothers and sisters now that you've been raised with.
Yeah.
But that, to me, man, like that is like the love of Christ. When you can love somebody unconditionally, not saying it's going to be the prettiest.
Yeah.
Not going to say it's going to be the easiest. Not going to say it's going to be this well put together, because it's not.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yep.
But it's, man, can you still love and forgive, people, regardless of what happens.
Yep.
And man, what a testament of just the love of Christ.
Facts.
Exhibited, and obviously it has molded you into the man you are today. You have a beautiful family, right?
Yeah,
You have a beautiful family.
Appreciate it.
Leading your home well. Your wife, awesome. Your wife is such an awesome person. I want to talk about this. So you went through a period of time where you had to take care of your mom, right? Your mom was sick. You and your wife had to bring in, and your daughter.
Yeah.
You guys had to bring in your mom and take care of her. I remember that in North Dakota. She was living with you guys. Speak to how important it is to be strong as a married couple, especially in those times, because I'm sure it brought a lot of challenges.
It did.
So speak to your wife and just the person she is, and how important it is to have, someone there that's willing to ride or die with you, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm sure that wasn't the easiest time.
Right.
Even in your marriage, it probably wasn't, but what held you guys together through that? And man, you guys are thriving now. Like, it's amazing. And so, speak to that about, your marriage and how important it is.
So we, like you said, we were talking about it earlier, we got married young.
Mm-hmm.
We got married really young, 20 and 21.
Wow.
20 and 21, leaving Maryland, about to go off to where Uncle Sam decided to say was North Dakota.
Out of all places.
Of all places.
North Dakota. Negative 60.
Woo.
Oh, that was cold days.
In 2011. 2011. And, but from jump, from the time that we started dating, and I'll start with that. From the time that we started dating. So me and my wife, we went through like a back and forth thing because I was away at college. I was going to college in West Virginia. She was living in Maryland. We were talking. We weren't talking. We were talking. We weren't talking. I dated somebody else. She dated somebody else. But there was all these back and forth things, man. And that's a story in itself.
Right.
But then ultimately towards the end of college, she was kind of like, hey, I want to, I think we should really take this serious. And I was like, all right, well, let me get back home first. We kind of agreed throughout the time that maybe a long distance thing might have not been the best or whatever. But so I leave college, go back to Maryland. Over that summer, we start dating. And we were actually hit right off the bat with trauma. We started dating. The week that we started dating, she lost her aunt.
Okay.
Which was like a huge influence in her life, which was really like a cornerstone for her family as a whole, not just her, but that was a devastating loss for their family.
Okay.
You know, and a definitely an unexpected loss. Yeah. So I jumped right into her life in a serious manner during a time where she's kind of broken.
Yeah.
You know, she's kind of broken. And me not really understanding that, you know, that relationship and what it meant, you know, I just got to kind of sit back and let's ride this wave, you know, but I learned a lot throughout that time too. Cause I think that was one of the first times where I had to show compassion for somebody else. And truly take the time to try to just be there for them.
Yeah.
Had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Make sure I don't make it about me.
Right.
You know, truly had to be a selfless person. Not that I was ever a selfish person. I think being raised in a big household, I was just always kind of like, hey, let's just, you know, family. Hey, you know, everything is everything, you know, and I don't think I've ever been a selfish person, but I definitely had selfish tendencies.
Yeah. Which we all do.
Which
a lot of us do.
Right. Which, and I think was probably in turn of being in a big family. Because it's something, you want something to yourself sometimes, you know? So that was like, you know, I had to learn that. But, you know, so we get through that but we said from the jump, why? I don't know. I don't know if it was just, again, another time of God speaking to us and probably didn't know it at the time or what, but like we said from the jump, like we're not practicing, you know, so if we're going to date, we're going to date for a purpose.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's going to end in marriage, but we're going to take it serious.
Yeah.
We had both said that to each other. We both agreed, like, I'm not here to play.
Yeah.
If you just want a little friend, we can just be friends and we don't need to date, you know, but if we're going to say we're dating, we're going to take it seriously and see where it takes us, you know? And we both kind of locked into that.
Okay.
You know,
committed early.
Yeah, committed early. We locked into that. So then when you fast forward, I'm home and I'm like, I'm not going back to college. I want to join the military. Well, I initially joined the Guard.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I initially joined the Guard, so I'm still going to be home. Yeah. Man, I'm going to go away boot camp and stuff like that, but I'm still going to be home. I'm going to do my little 1 week in a month. And, you know, but this was another time where I knew God was speaking to me because that wasn't enough. But I joined the Guard because I felt like it was a happy medium. I knew my family, you know, probably kind of rightfully so, didn't want me to join the military. Not that they have anything against the military, but for them, I think it was all fear for me. Not knowing what's going on in the world, safety and that, but also, what have I shown you? I've shown you for years that I can't handle that. I'm irresponsible. I don't see things through. I have a problem with authority. You know, so I think for my sister, it was just a huge, I don't want to see you fail like this. You know what I mean? In the military, serious. If you fail here, this could, you know, mess you up. You get a bad discharge.
Life impacting. Things.
You know, so I think for her it was a protective measure. Like she really was afraid of it. And I mean, she would probably have to speak for it herself. I don't know. That's my speculation. I do know that she wasn't for it. And she, you know, she let me know she wasn't for it. So when I told her I joined the Guard, you know, she was upset. And like I said, probably rightfully so. So then I fast forward though, and I'm like, this ain't it. I got to go active duty. And it was so funny. And it's another reason why I feel like, you know, it was just God had spoken so clearly to me because I said, I need to do this. I asked the recruiter how hard it is to switch from Guard to active duty. And they're like, it's easy. You get a conditional release. Because when you join the Guard, you start getting paid from them before you even go to boot camp. Because you do your 1 weekends a month from the time you enlist.
Already.
Yeah. So at that time, you're just wearing like khakis and a polo. And but you're learning your CDCs. Like you're learning your job.
Wow, I didn't know that.
And stuff before you even go to tech school and stuff. So by the time you get to tech school, you kind of have a head start with them. So I was already getting paid my drill weekends and stuff like that. So I did the Guard for about 6 months. And I said, I got to go active duty. And the craziest thing happened. I'm so scared because I called my sister. I'm so scared because
I'm about to do this full time.
Yeah. So I called my sister and I'm like, I got to go active duty. I think this is best for me. And to my surprise, her answer was, "You're right."
Mm-hmm. Wow.
She said, "One thing about you, you have been an all or nothing person." Mm-hmm. She's like, "Even when you messed up, I knew you was going to go."
Oh, yeah.
You was going to do it.
Yep.
You was going to do it. If you was going to mess up, you was going to do it. You was just going to take whatever the repercussions was. Yeah, I'm committed. She was like, "You've always been that. You've always been 100%. And she was like, "And I feel like the guard is half doing it. So if you're going to do it, I agree. You should do it." And so I went after duty. And my wife was like, "I want to be along from the ride." And I'm like, "Well, we'll see what happens."
Yeah.
So I go boot camp, tech school. I go to boot camp. But before I go to boot camp, I'm already in my mind like I'm going to propose. I don't know when.
Yeah.
But I'm going to propose.
Yeah.
So before I left for boot camp, I bought the ring.
Okay.
But it was here. It was in Maryland. It was home in Maryland.
Yeah.
So halfway through boot camp, I write a letter to her mother and her father, pretty much telling them what I wanted to do. They sent me back letters that I had their blessing.
Yeah.
Which was, obviously great for me, but I was so set on it that I don't know. Not that I don't know. I didn't ask for their blessing. And I know a lot of people be like, "You're supposed to ask for the blessing."
Yeah.
But I did it.
I'm going to marry her.
I told them, I told them I was going to marry, and I told them I would like their blessing, but this is who I want to be with regardless of what anybody says, you know? And they were all for it, luckily. But, so we fast forward. I proposed at boot camp here at Lackland. When I graduated, I proposed. She says yes, but the funny thing in the middle of that, in the middle of it, there's a middle part of this. I'm in boot camp.
Yeah.
I thought she left me.
Oh, she ghosted you.
Because I get about halfway through boot camp. Like I said, I don't have no letters from her. Brother,
it's not like you can just call her.
Right, you can't just call.
Yeah.
I don't got no letters from her.
Wow.
But I ain't had no letters from nobody.
Yeah. Okay.
So at this point, I'm the only person in my flight who had never gotten a piece of mail.
Oh, you sit in that day room.
Every day.
Sitting there, no letters coming.
So in my mind, I'm like, man, whatever. So come to find out, that first night when you get a call, you tell them your address, my sister couldn't get it all.
Oh,
so they didn't get an address until I was able to write home.
Oh, shoot.
So when I wrote home,
they used
they used the address.
Yeah.
My wife sends me a manila folder.
Oh.
She had wrote me every day. Every single day, but had nowhere to send it.
Don't say I didn't write you no
letters. So I get this mail call halfway through. And when I tell you it was the first time, like, we got smoked for it. But my TI calls our name for mail call. All my other brothers in the flight. Yeah. Like, they're so excited because I finally get mail. Yeah. You know what I mean? Oh, we got smoked.
Yeah.
Because he's like, "Oh, shut up. Yelling at us and stuff.
Friendly representatives now.
So
make this day room all sweat.
Man. and he smoked us for it. But it was the greatest smoke session ever. Yeah. I'm happy.
It's worth it.
I'm happy now, worth it. So I stayed up that first night reading everything. But anyway.
Yeah.
So now we fast forward. I tell my mom, "Hey, I want you to bring the ring to graduation." We get there. They bring it down. And in between this, though, we reach another funny point. I graduate. Day one of graduation. It's the coin ceremony.
Yep. The
Airman's run. Yeah. Nobody's there.
Oh.
Not her. Not my family.
Oh, no.
So I'm low-key kind of embarrassed because some random person has to tap me out because, you got to tap out. So I'm calling. Nobody's answering their phone. Calling her. It's going straight to voicemail. Ugh. So here we are. Round two. Wait, did she leave me? Like, round two, like, hey, wait, hold on. No, but come to find out, her flight had gotten canceled and it was a big thing. But again, she had no way to tell me.
Yeah.
I'm in boot camp.
Just call it.
You know what I mean? But my family was still driving to Texas because they drive everywhere.
Right.
So they just hadn't made it yet. So I finally get a hold of my mom and she's like, "No, she didn't leave you. Her flight got delayed. She's actually on a plane right now. That's probably why her phone's going to voice." I was like, "Oh, okay. All right. So, but she calls me. So I propose, man. But yeah, our marriage has been nothing short of amazing, obviously. And like you said, to her credit, the perfect person for me, right? Like, and I know that's easy to say when you talk about your spouse.
Yeah.
But like,
legit though.
Like for real. You know what I mean? For real, like the perfect person for me and everything. And she's, been my rock 10 times over.
Yeah.
Deployments, TDYs, 3 bases, which is not outrageous. Some people travel way more, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
still, one of those bases, you guys were going through a hardship.
Yeah. So North Dakota.
Yeah.
Like you said, my mom comes down. We're helping her out. She's helping us out too, right? Because we got a brand new baby at this time. You know, Sienna at the time is like 3 months old. When my mom moved down, I think. 3 months old, and
put perspective though, like I don't think people understand this, but okay, so newly married. It's one thing when you're dating.
Yeah.
But when you get married, for some reason, it changes things.
Yeah.
Right? And so newly married.
Yep.
Straight on active duty, right? You didn't really understand the military lifestyle yet in the Guard.
No.
6 months, right? So newly married, first base, baby, and your mom comes in and moves in with you.
Yeah.
Who's sick.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So I just want to put that in perspective for people because that's a lot.
Yeah.
And you're 20. You're 20.
I'm 21.
21.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
So so my mom moves in with us. My mom was sick. So my mom had been sick most of my life, like I said. You know, my mom had been sick. I did not know how sick most of my life. My sister, my mother, the rest of my family that knew did a really good job at keeping it a secret. And I say it, and I know that can come off wrong to some people. Like, why would they keep it a secret from me, right? But like, I don't know how sick she is. They keep it from me for reasons, right? One, I'm young. Emotionally, I probably can't handle it. Some information that I probably don't know. But even throughout that, the things that I did know, about my mother had 2 brain surgeries. Open heart surgery, had a pacemaker, some tough things, but littler things, rheumatoid arthritis, things of that nature. So my mother had been through a lot, which is, if we go back, well, I said she's probably, I think my sister would also agree too, probably the strongest woman we had ever, person. Yeah. Yes, woman, but person that we ever could lay eyes on. Right. My mother went through so much that was supposed to take her off this earth. First brain surgery was to remove a tumor the size of a tangerine. Wow. Brain tumor. Yeah. The size of a tangerine. Jeez. So not an outgrowth of a tumor. It's in her brain. How can that much of a person's brain be removed and they still function? That begged that was a lot of the medical professionals' questions. Like, how? How is she still able to function? Because when she came out of that, when she was paralyzed completely on her right side, her whole right side was paralyzed. Yeah. One day she's laying in a hospital bed. She said she got hot and it got really bright. All the function was back on her whole right side.
That's awesome.
Doctors can't tell you why. Yeah. She can't tell you why. Yeah. I think we know why.
I can tell you why.
Yeah, I think we know why. I think we know why. Happened. But again, nothing but the grace of God. That's right. Right? Yeah. And then we fast forward years later. She ended up getting a blood clot on the other side of her brain. And had a seizure. Caused a lot of issues. The hospital that she's at, well, I'll leave their name out of it for now, but the hospital that she was at ended up giving her a medication, giving her morphine, which everything on her record says she was very allergic to morphine. Wow. Gave her morphine, and she got what was called, because of it, she got what was called Stevens-Johnson syndrome. So pretty much Stevens-Johnson syndrome, just for lack of better words, cooks you from the inside out. Increases body temperature so much that like her whole body was a blister. Lips are raw. Jeez. Ears are raw. Over 90% fatal. Most people that get it pass from it. Yeah. By the grace of God. She made it. She's in hospital after just having a second open brain surgery. Has this fatal disease. and still walked out of the hospital on our own accord.
Yeah.
You know, when I was 12.
Okay.
I was 12 when that happened.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, you know, she went through a lot of other things. She had some other health things going on. We had a new baby.
Yep.
She was like, I want to come out there and help. And I'm like, all right, well, that kind of works out. You know, I had applied for a humanitarian to come home. Air Force denied it because they knew they, you know, were able to understand that my mother's situation was, you know, critical, but it wasn't considered terminal at the time. So they couldn't approve the humanitarian.
Yeah.
The commander we had at the time, Colonel Reyes, was like, all right, well, bring your mom out. You know, so brought her out, got her a long-term pass, D-bids and everything while we worked that process. Yeah. And like you said, she was out there with us. And yes, my mother is a character. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, anybody that met her will tell you, you know, easily one of the most non-judgmental people I've ever met in my life. My mother would accept you for who you are no matter what. Like, didn't matter what you did. Didn't matter where you came from. Didn't matter. You deserved love. You know what I mean? And you deserved to be accepted. And that was just the type of person who she was. And I think many of the people that met her in North Dakota kind of felt that same way. She became kind of like the teen mom. You know what I mean? And babysitting for people and cooking for people. And, you know, that was my mom's legacy there. And I think that was needed for us. Because she didn't raise me. And there was a lot, that I didn't understand. Yeah. You know, and a lot that I didn't know. But a lot of time lost. Yeah. And I think for her, it was an opportunity to be closer to me, but also help with this new baby that I have. Grandbaby. You know, her grandbaby from her son, you know, from baby boy, you know. And so she did. She came out to help. And my sister would tell you, my sister didn't believe she would stay. My sister, if you ask my sister, she was like,
I'll give you like 2 weeks.
Yeah, she said a month at the most. I don't think she's staying out there. And my mom ended up being out there for 2 years with us. Yep. But yes, it was difficult for us. You know, and back to the point with my wife, like, my wife held it down. Granted, my mom was very much like I said, a pretty accepting person. Yeah. You know, but that was still difficult. Yeah. You know, because now I'm interjecting my mom. And your wife. Who I have a peculiar relationship with here with my wife, who's young and growing in her own way. And we're still trying to figure out this thing called marriage, right? You know? And it was the greatest thing ever to watch, though. Yeah. Difficult at times.
Looking back, you're like,
looking back, difficult at times because I had to balance it, right? Because I'm balancing a lot of things at this time because I'm balancing my wife, who it's her house. But this is my mom.
This is my mom. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? This is mom.
Yep.
But I'm also battling me because you weren't mom. Yeah. So I'm also trying to learn how to respect her in that role because that wasn't the role she played. She was always mom. She was always around. Yeah. You know, so it wasn't like I moved with my sister and I never saw my mother. Like, no, I still saw my mom. I still saw her most of the time pretty regularly, you know, except for when she was dealing with some of her issues that she was dealing with. Right. But so I'm trying to learn this. I'm trying to balance. This is her house. This is my mother, though. But learning that you're my mother in that way, in that, you know, and building that relationship, you know. So my wife had to deal with a lot because she didn't just have to deal with my mother. She had to deal with me. Yeah. And you got to deal with me trying to figure this out. And you just turned 21 and you got a brand new baby. Yeah.
She could be going through the postpartum.
Oh, listen.
All these things, right?
Listen, when I sat back
away from her family.
And she is super close-knit to her family. Super close-knit to her family. So there was a lot that she had to endure. And I don't know if there's anybody else that would have. That would have. Amen, bro. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's anybody else that would have endured it, but not endured it with a smile on her face. Yeah. You know what I mean? It supported me in a lot of ways because then you fast forward and I deploy. But the week that I deploy was the same week my mother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Literally the same week. Yeah. So we get our world rocked.
Yeah.
By finding out that my mom has pancreatic cancer.
Yeah.
I leave that same week for a deployment.
Mm-hmm.
But we also realized that my mom couldn't get the care she needed in North Dakota.
Mm.
So we uproot, move them to Maryland.
Mm-hmm. Your mom or even your wife?
Everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
While you're deployed?
While I'm deployed.
Oh, boy.
So my wife's doing all this.
Yeah.
Cleaning out base housing.
Yeah.
Packing up.
Your wife?
My wife.
Yeah,
my wife's doing all this.
Yep.
Cleaning up base housing.
Mm-hmm.
Packing up. I'm deployed. I'm leaving for a deployment. We were actually stuck in Baltimore.
Okay.
Ironically enough.
Your home state.
We're stuck in Baltimore, ironically enough. She does all this, though.
Yeah.
Gets my mom back home. Checks out of base housing. Then drives her and my daughter from North Dakota to Maryland.
Sheesh.
Luckily, within an hour of me getting on the plane to leave, she gets to BWI.
Mm-hmm.
I see her and my daughter one last time, and then I board the plane and
That's crazy.
we leave.
Within 1 hour.
Within an hour.
Wow. That's crazy.
Within an hour, and we leave. And my wife went through a lot that deployment. Mm-hmm. We both did.
Yeah.
And when I say that year, 2014 into 2015, was the worst year of our lives. Mm-hmm. Worst year of our marriage, probably the worst year of our lives individually too, though.
Yeah.
That year made us who we are now.
Mm. That was a memorial.
That year.
That was a almost like a staple.
That was.
In your lives.
It was.
Individually and together.
Mm-hmm.
The year you'll always remember.
And I'm deployed. A couple weeks into the deployment, I get a call. Red Cross notification. Need you to come home. Mm-hmm. Mom's health took a turn for the worse. Mm-hmm. We were given about a 12-month timeline. Mm-hmm. So that's why I was maybe ignorantly so, but I was comfortable with still going into the deployment. Mm-hmm. My mom was like, "You're not going to lose this opportunity. Go. I'll be fine."
She told you to go.
And in my mind, naively so, I thought it was going to be okay. Mm-hmm. I watched my mom beat so much.
Yeah.
That I'm like,
she got this.
You good.
Yeah.
Why are you tripping? But I didn't know the dexterity of it, you know. And I don't know if she necessarily did, you know. Yeah. But I think in my mind, though, I'm like, I watched you beat brain surgeries, heart surgeries.
Yeah. Go from paralyzed to
walking.
Yeah.
Look, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good. I'll be back and we will fight this thing together. Mm-hmm. Our body rejected chemo. So I come back for emergency leave. My mom passes while I'm on emergency leave. But I got to go back. Mm-hmm. So I go back to the deployment to finish the deployment. But I'm early in the deployment, so I still got months. You know, we got there
breathing?
But I'm numb. But I have something to take my mind off of it, which is work.
Yep.
My wife don't have that.
Yeah.
She's home, still with our families.
Dealing with it.
But throughout that whole deployment, my wife went to 5 funerals.
Wow, 5.
Between our families.
Wow. My
mom's birthday, my mom passed December 6th, 2014. My mom's birthday is February 3rd. February 3rd, my wife's grandfather, who's the cornerstone of their family, passes from leukemia.
And you're not there.
And I'm not there.
Jesus. Yeah.
So she's dealing with the stress of my mom's birthday, first birthday without my mother, who we were, you know, she's super
close to. Lived with her the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then her world gets rocked even more. And I'm not there. Then, you know, some other members, other family pass. I get back from that deployment, and I think we kind of had to refigure ourselves out. And I say refigure ourselves out, but I don't even know if it was truly refiguring ourselves out. I think it was the start of actual growth. I think that ironically enough, God makes no mistakes, but I think he needed us to go through it to learn what we needed to learn about truly being married. I think we were still kind of riding off the high of
Oh, we married.
Yeah, we married. We good. Like we're good. I'm in the military. Life set up. Like we're Gucci, right? And I think, in a way, I think he kind of had to break us down to build us up. Mm-hmm. And he did just that. He broke us down because I think if there was a time in 2015 that I think if you would have asked me, I would have said I think we're going to get divorced. I don't think we're going to make it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think she probably would have agreed. My wife is stubborn, so I think in the back of her mind, I was like, no, it's not going to happen. But I think she would have probably agreed at a point as well.
Yeah.
But by the grace of God and probably a little bit of our stubbornness, we were like, we're gonna build through this. And we went through some stuff, and we went through some growing pains.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, but there is no person on the face of this earth that I think I could have did that journey with. Nor do I think could have handled me through a lot of that journey too.
Yeah.
Because not to say that she's my rock, that's an understatement. Rocks break.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
No matter how big it is.
Yeah. Rocks,
drop it in the right spot.
Rocks will break.
Yeah.
She's been way stronger than that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? She's been way stronger than that because I was not an easy person to deal with, especially after my mother passed. Because I was dealing with my own guilt of feeling like I said, I was still trying to figure out how to learn to respect my mother as a mother.
Yeah, you were in that.
And I was, process, and so I felt like there were things I left on the table, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, things I handled wrong.
Yeah.
And I was able to tell my mom, I tell her all the time, you know, I love you, right? And I told her that before she passed, you know, and she was like, yeah, I know you love me, you know, but I never got the chance to look at her and truly tell her, hey, I'm not mad at you.
Yeah.
I'm not angry with you. You know, and something I didn't really speak about, and I don't speak about often. My father passed my junior year of high school.
Oh man, yeah, I can only imagine.
So, but I was able to tell him that I wasn't angry with him, even though he wasn't there.
Right.
You know, I was able to tell him, like, hey, I'm not mad at you. I know it's no hard feelings.
Yeah.
You know, which I think is kind of what he needed, because I think that was the reason we kind of got rekindled in the first place.
Okay.
I think he knew he was going, and he was trying to close some loops, you know, because we got really close towards the end.
Okay.
But I was able to tell him that. And I never got the chance to tell my mom that, and I feel like she deserved it even more.
Yeah.
You know, so I held on to it for a while. I was mad.
Yeah.
I was mad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I'm like, I was mad at myself. I was mad at myself because I still went on the deployment. There was so many things that I just was like, I felt like I handled wrong, and I projected so much of it on my wife, and unfairly.
And you probably didn't even know.
And and I think in some ways I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
You know, but boy, if there's a person that could take some punches, because she took some, you know what I mean? And I took some too, because she was dealing with her recovery.
Of course,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I took some too, but we needed it. I'm telling you, hands down, a lot of people will probably look at it and be like, why do you feel like y'all needed that? I don't know why we needed that.
Yeah.
But that was God's way of saying, this is what we're going to do, and this is where I'm going to take you.
Yeah.
And he took us through some stuff that I think would have broke a lot of marriages.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he took us through it, you know, but I'm a firm believer that if God brought you to it, he'll bring you through it.
Absolutely.
You know, Amen. And he took us through it. And we just, luckily, by the grace of God, so not luckily, but gratefully about it, you know, we did it together, and we agreed to do it together.
Yeah.
And I feel like we came out way stronger because of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's how we sit now.
Something I heard, you know, I'm studying, I'm kind of studying like counseling and stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, one of the things that I read the other day, specifically, you know, being like a Christian-based counselor, or like a therapist, is that, you know, especially in moments of like trauma, things like that, right? Death and loss, is a lot of the times, like you said, man, you guys went through some things that would have broke some marriages.
Yeah.
I mean, quite honestly, a lot of things that do break marriages, and people divorce because of it, because of loss and because of, shoot, you both lost people within a year's time frame, right?
Facts.
And those situations will break, will break marriages up,
Yeah.
And will separate families, and one of the biggest things that is, that is important. And it's why I believe, like, that's why we need God, man. That's why we need Jesus.
Yeah.
Because you pointed out something very important, is that, you believe that God had to allow that situation, regardless of how bad it was.
Yeah.
Right. In order for you guys to grow.
Yeah.
Right. In order for him to reveal himself to you in such a way, right? And that's the thing, is like, something I was reading the other day was like, we have to be able to see, we have to be able to help people see the purpose in their trauma,
Right.
right? And why God allowed those things to happen, because it almost forces you to fix your eyes on him, and if you don't, and you focus on the trauma and why did this happen to me, and you have all the questions, which is absolutely a human reaction.
Yeah, right.
You're going to ask those questions,
Yeah.
But as someone, that is, takes on the profession of a counselor or a therapist, like being able to help people see the purpose in that trauma,
right?
The purpose and why that happened.
Absolutely.
And like now you can look back and say, yo, 2014, 2015, those are the roughest parts. But man, that is where the turning point of my life and my marriage happened. You know, that is the turning point, and being able to see that, because man, if it wasn't for God, man, and for him to reveal that to you guys, like you could have still been holding on to that stuff up to this day.
For sure.
And I'm sure there's a lot of people that have been through that situation that are still probably holding on to it.
Right.
And maybe people have already been divorced because of that, and they're maybe wondering why, and so it's just finding purpose in that trauma. And you said for us, as men of God and believers, man, we really have to be able to, trust God and say, okay, God, like, man, that freaking hurt.
Yeah.
But what are you trying to teach me?
It's something. It's got to be.
Trying to teach me something.
Right.
And so, yeah, man, no, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Absolutely.
That was deep, and credit to your wife, man, and your family and your daughter. Like, you guys got to do it together.
We do.
You guys got to do it together. And, because bro, someone's going to come down the line and is going to go through something that y'all been through.
Right.
And you guys can be equipped and say, you know what, man, we'll walk with you through this, because man, we've been through this.
Facts.
Like, we know what this feels like, and so I said, like, everything that happens to you, man, is not just for yourself.
Right.
It's always for somebody. It's always for somebody. Someone's going to come down the line, and it's going to feel like they're alone in it.
Yeah.
They're going to feel like they're alone in it. And, what better way to have someone walk with you, through that process,
right?
Whatever that looks like, right? Whether it's marriage, whether it's individually. And that, that's going to lead me into our next conversation, mental health.
Yeah.
Men's mental health, right?